Hello, hello, hello. How are you today? Hello, hello, hello. Hooray! I'm Dazzleberry, and I am so glad you are here with me today for story time. Yes, how are you feeling today? Well, if you're happy and you know it, clap your hands. If you're happy and you know it, clap your hands. If you're happy and you know it, then your face will surely show it. If you're happy and you know it, clap your hands. If you're happy and you know it, say hooray, hooray. If you're happy and you know it, say hooray, hooray. If you're happy and you know it, then your face will surely show it. If you're happy and you know it, say hooray. I'm happy, and I have a story for you today. And our story is called The Boy Who Cried Wolf. Now, I wonder what's going on in this story. I think you'll enjoy it. There's a lesson to be learned. Let's begin. The Boy Who Cried Wolf. Once upon a time, a young shepherd boy lived in a quiet village. Many of the villagers owned sheep, and it was the boy's job to take care of them. The sheep were very important. They provided meat and wool for their owners. The villagers trusted the boy to take care of the flock. Every day was the same. The boy ate his breakfast, kissed his mother and father goodbye, and walked the sheep to a pasture full of green grass. He made sure that the sheep got plenty of exercise and fresh food and kept them safe. In the pasture, the sheep grazed while the boy watched them. He also kept a lookout for wolves because they love to eat sheep. Oh. If he did see a wolf, the boy was supposed to yell to the villagers, who would come and chase the wolf away. But the boy never saw a single one. Day after day, the boy watched the sheep, but they were very boring. All they did was eat, nap, and eat some more. The boy had some fun, swinging from the tree branches, clambering over rocks, and chasing lambs. But soon these games grew old. Nothing kept him amused for very long. One day, the shepherd boy had an idea to make things more exciting. Ding, ding, ding. He has an idea. Oh, I wonder what it is. He would play a trick on the villagers. Uh-oh. What if he pretended that a wolf had come to the pasture? That was sure to be much more exciting than just watching the sheep all day. He climbed the tree and yelled, "Wolf! Wolf! Everyone, come quick! Wolf! There's a wolf!" In the village, everyone heard the boy's cries. The farmer dropped his tools. The baker dropped her bread. The grocer dropped his groceries. And they all ran to the meadow as fast as they could. They had to chase away the wolf before he snatched any sheep. When they arrived, there was no wolf, and the sheep were calmly munching grass. The villagers were very confused. What was going on? They all turned to the shepherd boy, who was laughing under the tree. "You look so funny running up here," the boy said. "What a great joke!" None of the villagers laughed. They didn't think it was so funny to drop what they were doing and run all the way to the pasture for nothing. "We have to go back to work now," said the baker with a sigh. "We don't have time for pranks." That means they don't have time for jokes. No jokes. They're working. That night, the boy's parents explained that the villagers just couldn't stop what they were doing because of some trick. The farmer's fields had been trampled and had to be replowed. The baker's cakes had burned. They burned. No more good. And they had to be rebaked. And the grocer's vegetables were ruined when they dropped them on the floor. Oh dear. The villagers spent a few days grumbling about the boy and what he did. But before long, everything was back to normal. The villagers worked. The sheep were safe in the pasture. And the boy didn't play any more tricks. Well, for a while. Before long, the boy grew bored again and decided to play the same prank. Can you believe it? He's going to play the same prank? Oh no! Well, that morning, he ate his breakfast, kissed his parents goodbye, and walked the sheep to pasture. Once they were all settled in, the boy cupped his hands around his mouth and cried, "Wolf! Wolf! The wolf is taking our sheep! Hurry!" Once again, the villagers dropped what they were doing and raced to the pasture. But when they arrived, there was no wolf to be seen. The villagers counted the sheep. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. There were no sheep missing. They were all there. But where was the boy? The shepherd boy is missing. Did the wolf snatch him instead of the sheep? They don't see him. Suddenly, the villagers heard of something from behind a rock. It was the boy, and he was laughing so hard tears were running down his face. I tricked you! I tricked you! The villagers sighed and went back to the village. Do you think they were very upset? I think so. That night, the boy's parents gave him another stern talk and sent him to bed without dinner. The boy felt very sorry for what he had done and vowed not to play any more tricks. He would just do his job without making anyone else mad at him. There he is in his bed, just thinking about how he was going to do better. From then on, the boy worked hard every day. He walked the sheep to the pasture, he watched them graze, and kept an eye out for wolves. He did everything without getting sidetracked. So he was doing a great job now. One day, the boy noticed that the sheep were acting strangely. The rams walked nervously around the pasture and bleated loudly, while the ewes and lambs huddled together. Just then, the shepherd boy saw something out of the corner of his eye. He turned quickly, but only saw a dark blur dash behind a big rock. What was that? The shepherd boy wondered. It looked awfully large. Just then, the creature darted out from behind the rock. It was a wolf. Before the boy could even blink, the wolf snatched a lamb and gobbled it up. Then he ran back into the flock and grabbed another one. The boy was horrified. That means he was so scared. He was very scared, afraid. Wolf! The boy yelled. Wolf! Everybody, come quickly! We're not going for that trick anymore. No, we're not. So they said, just ignore him. You know that shepherd boy is just playing tricks on us. Just ignore him. Nobody believed that there was really a wolf this time. So nobody heeded the boy's cries. The farmers continued working in the field. The baker kept mixing her dough. And the grocer stayed in his store. Meanwhile, the wolf had snatched every single sheep from the pasture. Oh, how is the boy going to go back there with no sheep? What is he going to tell the villagers? Well, the boy had yelled and waved his arms, trying to scare the wolf away, but the creature didn't pay him any attention. Didn't pay him any attention. But finally, the wolf walked off. He was full. His belly was full. He was done eating the sheep. The shepherd boy stared in shock at the empty field. He couldn't believe how quickly the wolf had gobbled up all the sheep. His whole flock was gone. If only the villagers had come to chase away the wolf. They didn't believe him. Would you have believed him? Finally, the boy walked sadly back to town. He felt terrible that the sheep were gone, and even more so because it was all his fault. He never should have played tricks on the villagers. And so the shepherd boy learned his lesson. No one believes a liar, even if he is telling the truth. And you know what, boys and girls? He thought he was playing tricks and that they were harmless. But when you play tricks on people and you're not being honest, you're being dishonest and you are lying. And after a while, people will not believe you. So there you have it. The boy who cried wolf.